Good morning from rainy Bangkok. We're getting a lot of rain these days. Anyway, I have an interview for you today with a guy called Jonno. Okay, Jonno is from the UK and he's been in Thailand for 9 years, and he's going to share his thoughts and opinions on what he does for a living in Bangkok. So we're going to do that, and then if you notice, we're sitting at a table at a really nice condo. So in the next vlog, I'm going to show you that condo because it's in a great location in a place called Langsuan. Really nice area of Bangkok. So we're going to show you that in the next vlog. Anyway, folks, I hope you enjoyed the interview. Leave a comment down below. Let me know your thoughts and opinions. I'm always interested to hear what you have to say. And without further ado, let's go. Let's meet Jonno. Hello, everybody. I'm here with Jonno from London, and we're going to talk about Jonno's story. I like to listen. Everyone has a story basically, and on this channel we like to get the stories across. So,
cool, man.
Jonno, let's start at the very beginning. I said you're from London.
Yes, sir.
So
yeah. So obviously I'm Jonno. I'm from England, London, and basically I've been in Thailand now for coming up to about 9 years. Yes, sir. And basically, as you can tell, I've got ginger hair. Ginger freckles on my arms and my face, and that's because my dad's Irish. So yeah, I've got a half Irish and half English.
Okay, and so you've been here for 9 years.
Yes, sir.
Take us back. Why did you come to Thailand 9 years ago?
Cool. So it's actually a funny story. I was actually currently living in northeast London at this moment in time in a place called Leytonstone, and I was working for my dad's company, which was in East London in Canning Town. He has a warehouse there, office furniture removals and office furniture storage. Anyways, after a little while, I got a bit bored of it, and I thought I wanted to go back to doing real estate. I've been doing real estate since I was 17, since I left school. Anyways, I got a job down in South London, Canada Water, where I got a job doing rentals for a small company, still living with South Africans in a shared house, having a great time with them and Australians. Got the job, everything was going great after a year, thinking I'm going to be here forever doing this. And I came across this stunning Thai lady. Absolutely incredible. Like, I mean, so shy, so nervous, just really cool. If I didn't pick up the phone in time, then it would have been somebody else who would have met her, probably just done the deal, and that would have been it. But anyways, I took this lady on a viewing, and we got along really well. We had a really good time. Like, we were hanging out.
She was renting an apartment in London?
She was renting an apartment, yeah. So she was studying at the time, and she was just looking for a place just south. She was living in Bermondsey, but she wanted to come across to Canada Waterside, Surrey Hills. So yeah, I showed her a place, had a bit of fun in the car, and I think we could feel that chemistry. Do you know when you're making jokes and somebody's laughing? A lot of the time in this job, I make jokes, I look over and the person's just like, I'm like, okay, I'll be quiet from now on. So I was just like kind of, making jokes, having that little eye contact. It was really cool, really nice. She didn't like the first unit. It was a rubbish unit. She shouldn't have chose it anyway. And I thought she's never going to call again. She called me again to show another unit. So on the second viewing, I showed her around, and I don't know why she took it. It wasn't what she was looking for.
Okay.
But she took the unit. And for some reason, I said I'll offer to help her move some furniture, like move the wardrobe around for her. When she was like, "Can you move this?" I said, "I'll do it for you, don't worry." And then, yeah, she kind of accepted that. And so I was like, okay, cool. So we had that bond, we had that chemistry. I moved her into unit, I helped her move her stuff around. And I just kind of picked up the courage, say, hey, do you want to come on a date sometime? Do you want to go for a drink? And the best time I thought to offer her to a drink was with our work party. We were going bowling. It was like a team bonding session in Canada Water. So I said, you know what, do you want to come along to that? So she arrived at this. We'd all had a few beers. She'd arrived late. So obviously she's arrived late. We're all a bit merry. I'm like, yeah, how are you? And I thought, oh God, I've blown it already. I'm already had a few bevies. And everything was cool. Like, we had a great night. We hit it off. Really, really good time. Anyways, I then go back to my place in North London, chilling out, having a great time with the people around me. And I thought, you know what? I'm tired of kind of partying until the early hours, because these were all travellers, you know what I mean? These were Australians who were working with my father's company. So they were working until early hours, waking up, going to work. And I was doing this, but working in a real estate company. And I was like, I can't continue doing this, you know what I mean? So I thought, you know what? So I gave this lady a call at Thairish, had a few chats, and I ended up then moving down to South London. which when we kind of spent a lot more time together. We got a lot more close, and then we ended up moving to Greenwich, which is southeast London. We moved into an apartment there, and then that was it really.
So did she want to come back to Thailand, or what happened there?
So she was studying a second master degree at King's College. So she was doing law, and at the end of her second degree, she had to make the decision what she's going to do. Her parents wanted her to come back because for her, they wanted her to become a judge or a prosecutor. So that was the reason of coming to get the education. That was the reason of what she was doing. It was with the end goal to come back and do law in Thailand, whether it be judge or prosecutor. So that was her time span no matter what. I didn't know this until we were living together in Greenwich. And that was it. Yeah, she just said, I'm going back. Do you want to come with me? And I said, yeah. Why not? Let's go.
The rest is history.
The rest is history, man. Yeah, so that was the story. It was really interesting. A client turned, wife, so really.
So when you
happy.
got over to Thailand, what did you do then? What kind of work did you do?
Cool. So I arrived in Thailand. It was all very new to me, all very hot. I've never been here before. It was all a bit crazy. It was all like, whoa, what's going on here? You know what I mean? So the first thing I did was go to my local pub, which is out in Ramanchar, an outdoor pub. So all the pubs out in Ramanchar, they're outdoors. It isn't like in the city where you can go to, O'Shea's or an indoor traditional style pub. It's outdoors, wooden seats, with a bottle of Sing that they pour into ice water. So anyways, I went there. I was amazed by this. I was loving it. It was live music, Thai live music. It's really loud, really crazy. I was just sitting there by myself wondering, was this a good choice to come here? Like, what's happening? What am I doing? Just some time to myself to think. There was an American gentleman who was on the table beside me, and this was my second night in Thailand. He was drinking away. He saw that I was alone. He came over, started talking, said, "Hey, how are you?" Boom, boom, boom. I introduced myself. He introduced himself. He said, "I've got a job at Inlingua. I'm the headmaster at Inlingua, which is a school. I think it's a language school. Yeah, it's a language school in the shopping malls." So he said, "You reckon you can come in tomorrow for an interview? You've got the job, don't worry about it, it's fine." You don't need much, it's all good.
You talked yourself into the job.
Very much so about it. I think after a few beers, you can talk yourself into any job if it's the right person you're talking to. So I woke up feeling pretty good about myself, feeling great, went to go for the interview, got the job, and that was it. I started a job at Inlingua. So I started teaching English, and that was my first intro to work in Thailand.
So what did you think?
It was hard, man.
Yeah?
It's really hard, yeah. So I basically did that, and I was just horrendous at it. I was the worst teacher ever. I think you're either a teacher or you're not. And for me, like the kids, they were too loud, they were too excited, and I just didn't have any control of them at all. I couldn't do it. I was rubbish. I respect anybody who can control a classroom full of kids. I just hold my hands up. I know that probably a lot of people give it bad rep, but I think you have a skill, and it's a skill that needs to be appreciated. Because if you can't do it, you can't do it. And I knew I couldn't do it. I was scrunching up balls of paper, throwing it at them and saying catch, and that was their only English lesson. The only English they learned that day was catch and dodge. You know what I mean? So, and Mr. Bean obviously was a mime artist, so they weren't learning any English from that either. So I think after about 6 months, I realised this isn't what I can't do this. It's not fair. You know what I mean? It's not fair on the parents who are obviously paying, and it's not fair on the kids, and it's not fair on me because this isn't what I'm good at, and I should try and find something else. So that's when I got into real estate. That's what I love the most. So I actually looked for a job online with a company, and I went off with this guy who I'd kind of shadow him around the viewings. I'd shadow him on everything he did, and they always had this promise that I won't mention the name of the company, but I was very disappointed with them. They had this promise that after a couple of weeks, then I'll be on the team and I'll get the phone, or I didn't even need a phone, but you're ready to go then. So he made me shadow him for a month, and then at the end he said, "Oh yeah, you're not needed anymore." So it's basically just a month of wasted time.
Were you doing it for free? For
free, yeah. I was just shadowing him because I wanted to learn about how it is in Bangkok. I wanted to know what the rules are in Bangkok, and I wanted to work for a company first. So I just shadowed him, not thinking anything of it. I had a bit of money left from the teaching, so I was cool financially. And yeah, he just gave me a call, and I was kind of a bit down. But then I thought, you know what? How about you use that month as an apprentice, and now you know what to do. So let's use our knowledge from real estate everywhere else, like in UK, and try and match it with what I've just learned in Thailand. And that's when I decided to set up ProMove Bangkok.
So Jonno, how do you build, or how did you build a successful customer base?
Okay, cool. So at the first beginning, it was spam. So Craigslist back then was my marketing tool. I'd go around, I'd knock on every single condo door I could find. I was living in Ari at the time, and that became my base. I was like, you know what, I'm not going to be the champion of Bangkok. I'm not going to be the hero of Bangkok. I'm not going to know every single unit in Bangkok. I'm going to use this one suburb, and I'm going to try and build my own little, not monopoly per se, but like my own, build a name for myself in this area. So I got to know rapport. I got rapport with the management offices. I got to know lots of landlords, and then I just took photos and I spammed the internet. I went crazy, promoting Ari like you've never seen it before. Like just Ari, 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 Ari. 1 bed for rent in Ari, 2 bed for rent in Ari. And then I started getting a couple of clients. Like the first client was incredible. The feeling I got from meeting the first client who saw me on Craigslist. I took her on the unit, got the deal, and you know, that's a bit of cash then. I thought, okay, cool, I've got cash now. I'm going to build a website. So my buddy in the UK, Adam Underhill, really good friend of mine, he helped me set up a website for ProMove Bangkok. It was the initial website. From there, I used that to advertise on Craigslist, and the customer base started coming slowly and surely higher and higher. Word of mouth was massive, especially in a place like Ari, because Ari back then, there wasn't so much going on. So people who were coming to Ari, it was because they knew someone who lived there, or it's because they specifically wanted to be there. You didn't tend to get too many people saying, I'm moving to Bangkok, or where should I be? Maybe I'll be in Ari. It was, I'm going to Ari in Bangkok. Whereas I think Sukhumvit is a lot more broad, like, oh, I'm going to go live in Sukhumvit. Would that be Asok, Prompong, Tonglo, Ekamai? So yeah, it was just pure spam is what got me into it and got the original wheels rolling.
And how long did it take to get those wheels rolling?
Oh, a good year, I'd say. A good year of just pushing, knocking, and just getting up as many units as possible. Just literally building up a database. So I had about 2,000 units of database worth. And that was the hardest part, is getting the database and also building the rapport with the owners so that you could then negotiate. Because the important thing isn't so much having the unit, it's having a good enough relationship with the owner that if you do have a client who has specific needs, you're not too anxious about asking. You know, you've got a good relationship and you can have good communication about how and why you need to negotiate down to this to secure the deal. Yeah, probably about a year and a half, I'd say, before we got a very solid thing going on, I guess.
So what are the future goals of ProMove Bangkok?
The future goals of ProMove Bangkok. To be honest, we've been doing it for a while now, and I've been really happy with the pace it's gone. However, I've got a few friends now who have offered me solutions about advertising, even yourself, to be honest with you, like watching with your YouTube channel, seeing what you've done with yours. I guess now is looking slightly more into the virtual world of things, like perhaps condo tours, giving people a view of a unit. With the COVID situation, it's probably better for them to see a guided tour of a unit, and then they can narrow down which units they want to see in person. So I think we're probably going down the virtual route. The YouTube route, I think, would be very beneficial.
I think it's a good idea for you because somebody can see the property, and then they can see the property. If they like it, they'll come and contact you. If they don't like it, they can move somewhere else. So that doesn't waste your time.
That's exactly what it is. It's just, I mean, you can just give people, now I give people photos. I give them a link of the units with a description of the unit. And I think photos can be very misleading. But a video isn't as much. A video, you're live, you're there, you can walk around, you can even count the paces when I'm walking through the unit. So you can see and get a good feeling of the space. You can get a good idea of how the unit looks for a video. That I think photos don't give you, because photos these days, with different lenses, obviously, you can give off a different image to perhaps what the reality is.
Jonno, how has this whole pandemic affected your business?
I've been lucky. I've been very lucky. I've got some very good friends who it's affected them massively. Really, really, and it's sad because they're good friends. For me, it's been not too bad. I'd say that I've lost a mass market where you'd have maybe a lot of clients at once, and the range of quality of clients that's just what it is. You have people who are time wasters, people who are just browsing, people who are serious, and that's a big pile of clients. Whereas now I'd say the COVID has narrowed down the numbers, but it's actually made a more premium client. It's basically, and I mean that in the nicest possible way. I mean, now people don't want to waste their time. People don't want to go outside their house just willy-nilly looking at properties for the sake of it. People now, if they're going to do a viewing, they're doing it because they genuinely are after something. And I think then they're also a lot more serious about with their criteria. This is what I want. If I can't have that, then I'm going to go speak to somebody else. But I'm not going to waste your time because I don't want to be out and about all the time mixing and matching. So a lot less clients, but I'd say the clients seem to be probably a lot more fair.
What motivates you, Jonno? What gets you going? What gets you out of bed in the morning?
It used to be personal motivation. I used to be really stoked about how far can I take this, like what can I do to make this better. Now it's surprisingly my wife and my friends. My friends motivate me more than anything. I've grown up kind of meeting all kinds of sorts and shapes of people. Some not the nicest people I've grown up with, and some are really nice. And I think at this point in my life, my motivation's changed because now my buddies who I'm starting to hang around with, I've got some very good French friends, yourself as well, who's progressing. They're guys who, they motivate me. You don't want to be left behind. You want to be, like for a while I was so comfortable. I was like, you know what, life's good. It's all right. Maybe I'm not super rich, but I'm comfortable, I'm enjoying life. But now when I see my buddies who think beyond that, it's not about being perhaps the richest, it's about having something to do, like having something to talk about, having something to represent yourself, having something that you're proud of. That is the motivation. Having something to talk to them about when I meet them. You know what I mean? It's nice to have something to talk about.
Yeah.
And work is something that is we spend all our time doing it. That's what we spend most of our time doing is work, unless you're lucky and you don't have to. A lot of our time we are working. So I think that's something that you need to take pride in. You need it to motivate you so that then you can offlay that when you're talking to people.
Jonno, have you ever heard this statement? You are the average of the 5 people that you spend the most time with.
I haven't, but I really like it. It makes sense.
You hang around with a lot of people that are, drinking every day, and they're talking, it's all negativity. Well, that's you. You're one of them.
It's going to brush off on you.
Yeah, that's it. If you hang around with guys and girls that are going somewhere, then you're going to go there. You're going to be pushed along with them.
Touche. Yeah, I'd agree with that. I think when you get into this stage where you can feel the change of events, where you feel that your mind is working in that other way, you don't want to lose it. So you kind of you want to stay attached to that motivation. You want to stay attached with them people who are giving you that positive energy, that positive vibe. You want to be with people that when they're away from you, when they're talking to other people and maybe a scenario that might pop up or an opportunity that might pop up that could benefit you, you want your friends to be the first people to say your name out loud with confidence. And you also want to be the person that they will be proud to say your name out loud, so that they won't be putting their name out on a limb by giving you a bit of a push in the right direction.
Cultural differences, okay? So doing business in Thailand, you're gonna meet different cultures. Mm-hmm. Not only Thai, but you're obviously doing real estate for many different nationalities all over the world. How do cultural differences affect you and your daily business life?
Do you know what? I kind of see myself as a bit of a chameleon. So this is going to sound really either big-headed or it's going to sound shallow. I don't know what it's going to sound like, but yeah, I feel like I can chameleonize myself to this because I've been doing real estate for so long now. And in London, you meet some very interesting characters. And I think coming to Bangkok, it's probably been a bit easier. The one thing I notice in Thailand is punctuality. I'm on time. I'm 20 minutes early for everything. I'm an early guy. But in Thai, it's very slow pace. And even to this day, 9 months on, I'm still 20 minutes early when I know I know that I'm going to be waiting for an hour before anybody arrives. You know what I mean? I know that the person's going to be late. I just know it's going to happen, but I can't break my personal code of be on time, be early. And it was funny, actually, I was having a horrible day the other day. I was having a horrible day. Do you know when everything's going wrong? Everything, you wake up in the morning, you spill your coffee, your first sip, it spills, you go, it's going to be one of those days. And it was about 4 p.m. and my client, I got a really good deal. I secured a fantastic deal, negotiated an incredible deal. And at 4 p.m, I said, I'll meet you at 4 p.m. and I got to about 5:30, 4:45, and I kind of just lost my rag. I said, I wish I didn't do it. I wish I didn't do it. And the guy arrived, and he was so relaxed and so chilled. He goes, "I'm so sorry, traffic and all this." And I felt really bad because not once in my professional career have I complained about being late. But I think the other day, after 9 years, it was the first time I think I just exploded, and I said, "Be on time, please be on time, God." And then afterwards we had a chat. We went inside and we were cool, and I apologised as well for losing my rag.
I'm the very same though when it comes to time. I've always maintained to stay on time. You know, when I worked back in Dublin, I remember like if I was 1 minute late or 2 minutes late, my boss at the time would go nuts. And I used to like when I was going to school when I was a kid, I'd be 5 and 10 minutes late for school, right? But as soon as I started working, I worked for a guy who was just a stickler for time.
Fair.
And but it worked out for me because he set that when I was a young guy. That was the precedent that was set. You know, I learned that you need to be on time when you're going to meet someone. And yeah, over here, time is a little bit different. Mm-hmm. We call it Thai time.
The Thai time.
You're
yes,
5, 10 minutes late, 20 minutes late. It's fine, you know. But yeah, I'm the same. When it comes to time.
Are you getting used to it now, or are you after all this time?
I am used to it, but it still annoys me.
You still don't accept it.
Yeah, like I say, I'll meet you at 2:00, and then someone comes at 20 past 2. It's kind of like, you know.
Yeah, is this person taking me seriously? You know what I mean?
But you kind of get over it. You have to realise that it's just part of the way things work over here.
That's it. You know, it's I think we can laugh and joke. Me and you can laugh and joke about it because we've been here so long that we know that that's the way it is. You know what I mean? And I think sometimes it upsets you more than other times, and I think it's probably maybe this amount of times it really upsets me. But other than that, like you say, you're so used to it. You know what I mean? It's just.
So, Jonno, any advice for anyone that wants to come over and set up a business in Thailand?
Know what it is you want to do before you get here. Have like a strict plan, have some kind of blueprint, because when you get out over here, you do get hurdles. I mean, hurdles right off the bat, that you come across. So it's good to have some kind of backup in case, whether it be financial or somebody, some kind of backup to get you through them initial hurdles. The next point is just do it. Just do it. You know what I mean? Like there is so much opportunity in Thailand at the moment, in Asia in general. I think there's massive opportunity. That if you believe you're good at something and you believe you can do something, whatever path it is that you go down, go and do it. Prove yourself that you can go do it. Prove to yourself. I mean, we live in a small world now where a flight. You can pick them up at a good price at the moment to fly somewhere and give it a trial or error.
Just start, yeah.
That's it, just start. Get it done, Just stop telling me you're going to do it and just go do it. And then you can show what you can do. You know what I mean? Because, like I said, there's opportunity. There's a door open where when one closes, there's another one that opens. I mean, I've started 4 companies out here. I've only got one left. The other 3 were massive fails. I had a chip shop. We started a cheesy chip shop thinking that because Potato Corner worked, we're going to be rich because we make cheesy chips, me and my buddy Ken, Irish Ken. And then literally we had it in the worst possible place for a chip shop in a mall, which was in Kasset Navamin. And it was well out of light. It was pure location. We spent all this money and it just, nobody went there. Nobody knew it was there. I mean, I think we sold like 1 plate of chips a day. Which obviously doesn't pay rent. I had a window cleaning company, which I thought Thai people want their windows cleaned, in the housing developments. So these big houses, so we imported all this gear across to do window cleaning. We did photo shoots, we had printed t-shirts. Nobody wanted their windows cleaned. Like nobody. So it's like all this awesome idea for nothing. But I'm happy I tried it, because if I hadn't tried it, then I'd still be asking myself like, oh, maybe there's a business there. Maybe there's a business there. Now I know there's not a business there. Like maybe there is, and if there is one, then I've got equipment if anybody wants to buy it, because it's sitting there gathering dust.
What would you say are the top 3 skills to have to be an entrepreneur in Asia?
Work smart. Asia, to be honest with you, it can be a lonely place at times. You know what I mean? So sometimes if you're working too hard all the time, it can get probably quite depressing because you're working, and you're not allowing your mind that time to relax in a place that's extremely relaxed. I mean, Bangkok's extremely relaxed. It feels rushed, but it is a slower pace. And if you're constantly going, it can get slightly probably overwhelming and you don't breathe. So work smart. Obviously get what you need to get done, but work smart. Networking. It's a place where you need to meet people. You need other people's help at times, you know what I mean? They open up doors for you. I'm not necessarily saying use people, I'm saying just outreach to people, meet good people. And you know what you can offer them. You can always offer somebody something. And then somebody will offer you something. It's just a good networking bubble, you know what I mean? It's always good to know as many people as possible. That doesn't necessarily mean make best friends with everybody. It just means that you kind of, you have that card, you take that card, or, I've got your line ID for that, and you never know when it might pop up, you know what I mean? And yeah, I think it's very good for the social as well. Once again, it goes back to that first part of not working too hard, taking time off and actually getting to meet people, building your network. Number 3, bit of get up and go, a bit of a bit of humour. You know what I mean? You need some balls, you need some humour, you need a bit of character, you know what I mean? You need to probably save your soul a bit, you know what I mean? Like, I've got ginger hair, so my soul was gone a long time ago. But yeah, you need to probably leave your ego at the door sometimes, because you do sometimes need to make a bit of a fool of yourself. You do need to kind of, be made the joke of at times, and you can be the joke, you know what I mean? It's all part of the fun. It's all, you need to
You
sell
can't take
yourself.
yourself too seriously.
That's...
Isn't it?
That was the best way of saying it. I could have narrowed down all of it by saying that. That's right.
Anywhere you work.
Very much so.
Any kind of business.
It's like just comfort, isn't it? Like, you want to feel comfortable. You know what I mean? And I think if you're always on edge, then people see that, and that can come across maybe as untruthful, or maybe you know what I mean? Maybe they go, "Oh, he's a bit on edge." You know what I mean? Whereas if you can just let yourself go a bit, people go, "Okay, cool. That's who he is. I get who that guy is." You know what I mean? You don't need to give away all your secrets. You don't need to give away your life story, but you can just let them know that, no, I'm me. I'll do what I'm required to do.
Who's your greatest inspiration?
My greatest inspiration is my father, and that's like hands down. I don't think there's any person in the world I look up to, only my father. He unfortunately passed away prior to COVID, just before COVID.
I'm sorry to hear that.
It's okay. Actually. Yeah, he had COVID. He had cancer. And we were so lucky because it was pre-COVID. So I got to fly back home in 2019, and then his funeral in February, just before COVID hit. I was literally at the wake, and my next door neighbour, really nice guy, said, "Oh, so you're bringing COVID over to England, are you?" And it was because it was still very fresh at that time.
Yeah.
We had a bit of joke about it, and then obviously the next month I come back to Thailand and the borders had shut. But yeah, my father, 100%. I just remember when he set up the warehouse in Canning Town. I remember going there as a younger guy, 5 a.m., 4 a.m. in the morning, seeing him working hard, finishing at 7 p.m. Just real work ethic. You know what I mean? Like solid man.
He's Irish, of course.
He's an Irish man. He's a Donegal man. Yeah.
Donegal, yeah.
Donegal, yes sir. So sound as,
I want to give Jonno's channel a big shout out. Okay, Jonno's just started a YouTube channel called Pro Move Bangkok.
That's right. Yeah? Yes.
So it's all about real estate. Well, tell us, what's your YouTube channel about?
Cool. So it's literally just guided tours, pretty much like Pete's done today with me in the video. Only it's more the video. The camera's doing the work. I'm just narrating over it. It's giving you an idea of the layout of the units necessarily in a video format rather than a photo format. So yeah, it just gives you tours of the units with narration. Gives you an idea of the areas. We're trying to expand it to all of Bangkok at the moment. We're solely based in Ari, of course, but we're trying to grow it. And yeah, it's just an easier way to visualize properties before making that physical viewing.
Okay, so if you want to rent, do you do houses as well?
We do indeed, yes, we do.
So houses and condos?
That's right, we do housing, condos, commercial units, rent or sale. The full deal, I guess.
Okay, I'll leave a link in the description. Pro Move Bangkok. Jonno, it's a pleasure.
Absolute pleasure. I really appreciate your time, man. Thank you very much.
We'll do a live stream someday.
Yes, sir. Well, I need to get you to the pub again.
Yeah, when the pub's open, Jonno, we'll do a live stream.
Excellent.
So if you enjoyed that, please hit the subscribe button. I'd love to get to 4K before Christmas. That would be a great Christmas present.
Oh, man.
And give us a like. Share it around on your Facebook, on your WhatsApp. Share it around, and I'll see you on the next one, folks. Take care.
Take it easy.